Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. And this is Ash, and this is Not Your Average Netizens. We've got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about this week. Some K-pop related, some K-drama related, some Korean culture related. I've got a nice, good old crew of people with me today. Um, have Noah here again.
Hi, everybody.
Kiara,
Hey everyone.
and back from the abyss, it's Tim.
The Abyss? I was gone for one episode. Come on now. I had the longest streak. I had to go. It's the way it works.
Yeah, but yes, he was only gone for one episode, but it felt like forever. We're so used to having you here, Tim. Um, yes, but yeah, we're just going to go through some interesting things that we've noticed this week going on in Korean entertainment. No chills, no frills. Those of you listening to this podcast probably, already know what kind of the big stories are, and we'll go through those and maybe some smaller things that you haven't thought about as well. So I wanted to start off since I know everyone wants to cover the big things. This is something that's a little more um, not about K-pop and more like, oh, somebody mentioned it. Um, there's an article on Line about um, Western pop stars, and it was by Vox.com, and the headline of the article is it's not just Ariana Grande. Female pop singers are becoming terrible dancers, which kind of struck me because if those of you who noticed the pictures and fan cams from SM Town's latest concert, Sohyun from Girls' Generation did a cover of Ariana Grande's song "Problem," and there was some debate as to which one was better, or if they were both the same of equal value. I don't know. Depends on, I guess, who you like better. But the article is pretty interesting. Like I said, it's on Vox.com, but it talks a bit about how today's pop stars, especially in the West, are not really. They have dancers. They do a little bit of dancing, but mostly it's a lot of kind of distraction away from the dancing, especially for the artist. There's like like a whole like page about how female artists do a lot of the hair flipping is so important because that's one way to kind of hide the fact that you have no rhythm or have no movement or anything, and I think that was alluding to the fact that Ariana does that a lot, and Britney Spears actually in her heyday was did quite a bit of dancing, but she does less now, being a mother and being a little older. Um, but the thing that really is pertinent to this podcast is um, the writer of the article actually kind of weave woven K-pop to this. And basically, it's at the very end of the article, but I thought it was kind of interesting. Basically, most of the article is bemoaning the fact that pop stars don't dance and don't do complicated choreography like Janet Jackson and Michael Jackson used to do, and then they go into saying, and the type of pop dancing defined by Janet and Michael is actually alive and well in Korean pop, parentheses, also known as K-pop. K-pop feels like a universe where Michael, Janet, NSYNC, the Backstreet Boys, Britney, and Christina never lost their grip over pop music. Polished boy bands and girl bands that can dance, sing, and make you feel like they want to date you seemingly come out every other week. K-pop stars train at a very young age and are often put together by record labels, making them just as manufactured as American pop stars. But as part of that training, they're actually taught to sing and dance. And there's actually a GIF of Minzy from 21 doing a little pop and
Woo!
lock freestyle. Yeah. You guys probably have seen it around the internet, but it's pretty cool. She's just doing a little like pop and lock freestyle, and everyone's like, you know, go Minzy. But and then there were some commenters that were like, yeah, K-pop. It's like, that's why I listen to it. It was interesting because some people were like, that's why like to listen to K-pop or pay attention to K-pop because don't really have that. I mean, we still have pop music, but it is different. It's kind of morphed into something different than it was in say like 2000. And I'll say even that it's not. I mean, I think honestly, people used to talk about the pop, machine back in 2000 with Britney and the boy bands and stuff. But honestly, I think Korea has this beat on this one. They've perfected this whole system to a T. And honestly, I don't think we ever had any boy groups or girl groups of the caliber as far as I'm not talking talent wise maybe, but just of just being very on point with the dancing and the singing and everything that like they have in Korea. Obviously because they have, a very organized kind of system for that. But I thought it was interesting, especially considering, we're all international fans and these are written by international fans and they were like, yeah, I like watching, K-pop, singers, they actually sing and dance. And I was like, well, some of them do and some of them don't. But I thought that was kind of an interesting thing, and it was kind of randomly popped up. Like I said, it was just kind of a random article. I didn't expect K-pop to even be in it, because it's mostly about Ariana Grande. But do you guys have any any thoughts on that? I mean, as far as do you guys listen to a lot of current music and compare that to K-pop, or is it pretty separate in your mind?
I listen to like a lot of current music. Well, I try to. Just because I don't like going places and hearing a song and being like, I've never heard this in my whole life. Like I hate that feeling. Um, but I think it's kind of funny that they bring up Ariana Grande just because like I don't care that she can't dance because her voice is ridiculous. Like
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean,
who
she's one of
cares if she
those where
dances?
she doesn't really need the dance moves, even though she kind of tries.
Yeah,
Um,
she does it like for her fans, and that's fine. But I don't care if she dances or not. She can sit in a chair as long as she sings like Mariah Carey. We're cool. Like by all means, girl, you do you. It's the same with like Ailey. I don't expect her to dance well. Her dances are really, really mediocre, but it's okay because her voice is spectacular. Like she could just stand there, and I just be like, oh my God, yes, go,
Yeah,
be
it's
a
not like
queen. I don't care.
you're right. It's not like Mariah danced a lot.
Exactly.
She
yeah,
is
that's
barely.
true. Mariah and Whitney were actually pretty notorious for not dancing well
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
their heyday, and
I
obviously when
think
they were older.
I think it's kind of a product of K-pop being like the boy band type thing, you know. Like in this article, they're comparing it to like how our pop music was like, but even in the heyday, it was only like boy bands that really danced, you know. And we had a couple. I mean, we didn't have a whole
Yeah.
ton like Korea does, and I definitely think
No.
Korea beat us in terms of like
Well,
or beat
Pussycat
everybody.
Dolls.
Yeah, but I mean, we had Pussycat Dolls, we had NSYNC, we had oh, what's that group? They were like
TLC.
98 degrees?
we had 98 degree.
TLC,
98 Degrees, TLC.
Salt and
What?
Pepper.
There was a group that had Omarion.
B2K.
Oh,
Oh,
B2K.
Yeah, B2K, and
Yeah,
then there was
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
another group that had the Peaches and Cream song. So I mean, we had groups that like danced,
Black.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like Korea definitely did it better than we did. I mean,
I mean, as
I'm
far
not gonna
as
say we
just
did.
as far like I said, I'm not talking about like talent and that sort of thing, and just purely on aesthetics and
No, yeah,
the
yeah.
whole
That's
pop
what I mean on
thing.
like aesthetics and marketing and all that, and like knowing when they hit. Like K-pop realized that it hit and just went boom, like just super forward. Everything they put it, they went deep for it. All these groups came out of nowhere. Like they did it better than we did. When we had that like surge of groups, I don't know if it's like the West that's just our attitude, but like when something surges really hard, people are really quick to be like, I don't want to be on this boat anymore.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
Yes,
everyone's
off. I don't
like,
want to
no,
be
Very
I'm
true.
too
yes.
cool for this. I'm way too cool for this. I don't want to
And
do
that's
it
what
anymore.
happened. Like
Uh,
NSYNC and
that was
Backstreet
me.
Boys, everybody was like, "Yeah, all right, cool." And then like a bunch of other groups come out, and people are like, I don't like this group thing. No, no, I'm out." And it was
Yeah.
quick. Like it went and it blew up, and it was crazy, and then it was gone. Like it was just same with like Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber blew up. A bunch of like other young kids came out, never as big. Like it's like,
Yeah.
nah, we get one. Okay, you can only like one.
Yeah, and people can, and even with him, it's like people are barely
Oh,
standing
they
him at this
left
point.
now.
Oh, I
Yeah,
think.
it's
Yeah.
like the last few, the real believers are there, right? Like, yes, Justin, spit on me. Like, I don't know.
I think it's interesting though that they chose a GIF of Minzy popping and locking and dancing, considering that she doesn't actually get to do a lot of that a lot when she's actually performing with 21. Their choreography is actually pretty. Um, for a girl group, it's on the
Not that good.
easy to medium easy side. I mean, it's not overly difficult because they've got two kind of non-dancers in the group.
Yeah,
But
but Minzy's known to be a dancer. Like, people know her for being a dancer.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that she's in a bad group that can't dance. Like, it's the same with like Hyoyeon. Everybody knows she's a great dancer. We don't need to be proved every day that she's a great dancer. But
that's
she's
true.
Yeah.
stuck in SNSD, and their choreo is easy. It just has a lot of line movement. Like, the
Yeah,
the movements aren't hard.
But I
yeah,
also
that's
think
true.
that K-pop focuses a lot more on dance, like the new hit dance. I mean, I think it began
Yeah.
with, Wonder Girls. Tell Me, like when that dance became such a huge hit. Since then, everybody's trying to create this new craze, that new hot dance that, like I don't know, like I forgot how many dances there are, like Sistar that have like
Yeah.
what is their dance called?
Which
The-
one?
yeah, which one? The Kara had a butt dance, and then
The shaky leg,
The shaky
yeah,
stinky
leg, the
leg.
shake
I
off your
don't know.
pee. I don't know. The dog
uh,
shake. I don't know.
Oh,
Something.
Sonia Shide did the crowd dance for G. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. There you go.
Yeah, there's a
yeah.
lot of crab dances. Weirdly enough, I can think of a few artists where
There's a
they've
lot of
had.
butt dances too.
Well, yeah, not surprisingly, but yeah, I mean that's not surprising in Korea. It seems like it's very popular to have with the lot dances, you have to have at least one like signature move that everybody can follow along with and
Mm,
everybody can do. So if your song plays somewhere, everybody can do, oh, this is the part of the song where we do G or we do the nobody point or, we do this or that. And, um, obviously that's not something that you see in Western music
yeah, and
hardly
they're
at
not.
all.
Yeah, but like, and I think Koreans are not that embarrassed. They're not like, oh, I'm too cool for school. I'm not like, what's that dance called with the helmets? The girls with the helmets.
Crayon
Oh,
Pop
Oh,
Crayon
okay,
Pop.
Yeah,
yeah,
Korean.
Crank Pop.
Yeah, like
The what is that dance called?
I forgot what
has
it's called.
has a name.
It
Yeah,
has
it
a
has a name.
name. Yeah.
It's like the name of their song, I think, is what they call it.
Bar
I just
Um,
bar.
don't.
Bar bar
Yeah,
Bar
bar.
bar,
yeah,
the
the
bar bar
bar
dance.
dance. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like it's like a huge hit. You could see like celebrities do that dance. There were people like doing videos on YouTube or Naver or whatever. But you would probably never see that a cover dance in that sense in Western pop, where people do the dance unless it's for a tutorial or some dancer want to show off.
Or if it's just like with Western media, I mean, we all have our kind of things that kind of catch on. Like when Psy caught on his dance,
Oh,
kind of because that was a huge part of his song and his concept. So of course, everybody knew the dance and went with the song, and it was part of Psy. But the average Western artist is like, you know, I mean, choreography isn't like a huge thing at all, and doing doing a very like a significant move is not, it's like no, no, people are not really, need to have something to relate to the song, need to have like a certain dance movement or whatever.
Yeah.
I
mm,
think,
I
yeah, I think it's not about the dance movement. Like, I wouldn't say that choreo isn't important in America because
Mm,
Beyonce is proof that like people want choreo, you know? Like,
that's true.
single ladies.
yeah, and like we've had dance crazes, like we had the Cat Daddy that went around, the Jerk went around. Like, you get these dance crazes that we do get from groups that will one hit wonder like a dance song, you know?
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
but
But like
it's
you said,
not
those
like,
are a little bit of a different situation when we get like the dance crazes. It's not so much.
yeah, it's
But
like
not
Like
like
like the
choreo.
Macarena.
no, it's more organic, like the doogie or whatever, or the
Right.
yeah,
chicken dance. It's more
Yeah.
organic. It's like some random urban act that does some dance,
yeah.
and then everybody, oh, that's so cool. But other than that, it's not the same. What do you think, Kiara?
Well, I mean, it's pretty much true. Like the last time I really saw like a real like big dance craze here in the U.S. was probably when the Macarena happened.
I was thinking about that too.
So it's like yeah, but yeah, like even then back then in the late '90s, early 2000s, like having a signature dance move wasn't really part of the whole pop scene. It was more like having very catchy songs that was more important, and the whole visual. But
True.
dancing, not as much.
Yeah.
K-pop totally
Yeah.
beat us on that front, yeah.
Yeah, they have.
I
I
think they
just
beat us on the
oh,
pop
go ahead.
like I think they beat us on like the pop group front. You know, like we may have
Oh, definitely.
bigger pop success like worldwide, but in terms of groups, they crushed us. Like
Oh
they
yeah,
they
they're
wiped the
they've
floor
just
with
they've
us.
got the perfect machine. It's like an assembly line, just like I mean even with all of the groups, groups that have come out and not made it, I mean they're still popping out new groups like every day, and they're all groups that have trained for years and years and on just every aspect of pop stardom, I mean, that you could possibly think of. And that's one thing also, I mean, you have to give it to a lot of the groups. I mean, like the dancing, especially the ones that do more complicated stuff, I mean, they practice and they do those routines until they can do them in their sleep. And with more than one person, when you've got five people and then you've got, sometimes in addition to that, you've got backup dancers and stuff. So everybody being very in sync at the same time, you know, it's impressive, and it's impressive to teenagers, and especially when they're all like, good-looking guys, and it's like, wow, they all did that sexy move at the same time, like how impressive. And
Mm,
This is reminding me of the new video of YouTubers reacting to the K-pop
yeah,
that just came
that
out.
one.
I want to see it. Is it funny? Is it any good? Like,
I don't
It's
know.
funny.
It's funny, but I usually skim through those because I always get secondhand embarrassment watching these things.
right? Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I want a piece. Like, I don't know if I want this.
yeah, those I don't know, because I have a feeling other people might be doing them, but Michael Smith Grant has like a whole series where he does like the people on the street reacting to K-pop, and Those are really popular. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think, and for some people, that's kind of a turn off to see things so, so perfectly, so crafted, so well done. I mean, like a group like Girls' Generation. Um, I remember when they were performed on Letterman, and they did, they were doing the voice and stuff, and some of the American responses I saw around the internet, and people were like, it's like, what was this? And they were like, they all, and of course, they had the whole, the whole look alike thing, because,
Well,
people are
they do.
idiots.
Because racism.
And, and then some people were just like, that was so strange. And they were like, they were all doing the same stuff at the same time. And there's so many of them. There was a lot of that about how many of them there were. And, it's just
Yeah.
cultural.
Yeah, like most like Westerners aren't used to like big groups. I mean, like
Mhm.
the biggest they got here in the U.S. was really the Pussycat Dolls, but even then it was like Nicole was the main girl, so most
Nicole and
people,
her friends.
yeah, so
Yeah.
most people, the focus was on her, so the others just kind of blend in. Well, always blended in the back, so it didn't really phase people because they were always focusing on Nicole. But with Girls' Generation, it's like they're all doing the same thing. One sings one line and the next sings the next line, so it's like for some people, I guess it's an overload.
Yeah. And for some reason, also, I won't get into it because then, we'll never get to you guys, but for some reason, it's also way harder for girl groups to get traction over here, I think, in general. And that's a whole other issue. But, in general, especially, I mean, you can name successful girl groups, but I think for like the past 5, 10 years or so, there hasn't really been. There's been some girl groups that have tried to kind of gain traction here, but I mean,
That's
just groups in general. Like I think, like we've got One Direction, but they're transplant. They're foreigners. In general, it seems like people are almost kind of scared to go back to that whole group thing or pop thing because they're like, oh, well, it'll be like 2000 again. Um,
That's really
so
easy though. Like literally, the reason that boy groups succeed over like girl groups is the most basic like marketing thing ever.
Oh yeah, I
Girl
mean,
groups
yeah,
don't cater to girls, and young girls especially are who listen to pop music.
yeah,
So if you don't cater to your audience, which none of the girl groups did really, you're never going to make it over a bunch of pretty boys who sing pretty music. Like that's it. You lost. You lost from the get-go, you know. It's the same like it's the same reason why in the peak of pop music, it wasn't like pretty girl groups. It was a bunch of boys like NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. They didn't cater to dudes at all. Like it wasn't cool to be a guy and listen to
and then it
NSYNC.
was interesting because the few girls that were popular, they were all like single artists. They were all,
Right, but they also had like a sexier image. Like they went after appealing to dudes, right?
yeah.
Like I grew up in that time, and I can tell you, like I didn't really care about NSYNC other than the fact that Justin was dating Britney Spears, and I was like, man, how could you do that? Like let her be single, let me live, you know? Like
She's supposed to
I
save
grew up
herself for me.
yeah, I grew up in that time. So it's like I understand because me, I wanted to support Britney and I didn't really want to be caught like listening to her music, but I didn't want to be caught listening to NSYNC's music either. And in that time period it was like, well, I can listen to Britney and be like she's hot. Like there, I justified it. I don't have to say anything to my friends.
Yeah,
Like
that is true. A lot of guys could be like, well, she's hot, so that's why, they don't have to be, like, he's like, well, why are you listening to, Madonna? And it's like, well, or Lady Gaga, and then that's a whole other conversation. As
yeah,
a
and
girl, I remember when I was in middle school around that time, and I was so into Backstreet Boys, and NSYNC came out, and I was like, ugh, I was totally not a huge NSYNC fan. But I remember when Britney came out, I was so excited. And then when Christina Aguilera came out, I was super excited. because I was like, oh, finally there's girls and they sing and they also dance and they have catchy songs. I felt like there was finally something, you know, for me. Not that I didn't feel like the boy groups weren't catering to me, but you also you kind of have with the girl groups. It's like, oh well, it's she's a girl and I can identify with that, and she wears pink, and she can also dance and sing well, and but like I said, it was just like you never really saw that happen with other than like maybe the Spice Girls. And interestingly enough, like I said, this is just my opinion. I never really got into the Spice Girls that much. Like I liked some of their songs, but I was
I
never
love
like it's.
them.
I love them.
Huge fan. I was a
The
huge.
Spice Girls were hot. Like, I don't know what you want. I
I
like
mean,
the
no,
Spice
I
Girls.
mean they were. I mean they are the biggest. I, you know, I mean there hasn't really been another like girl
They're the
pop group
Beatles of girl
like
groups.
this.
Like,
Yeah.
they're the Beatles
Mhm.
Um.
of a girl group.
I mean, like I said, I like their songs. I just wasn't like obsessed with them like I was some other people. But, yeah, I mean, it's like they're considered an anomaly because, like I said, I am a proud Little Mix stan. Okay,
Who?
I will say that and be honest.
No one was like, who?
Who?
Who? Yes,
Oh
exactly.
no, no, no. Seriously, I don't know. Who did you say? Who did you say?
I thought Noah, out of all of us, Noah might know who they are because they're decently popular in the
I, s-
UK,
I
but
seriously don't know which group you said.
their name is Little Mix.
Oh, Little Mix. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Okay, he's like,
okay.
okay, I know who
Sorry.
it is.
I'm still in the
And
Who boat. Like, I don't know who that is.
yeah, they're four girls. They were on Britain's version of the X Factor, and they won. And they both can sing their butts off. They've got some pretty good music. I mean, if you're into girl groups and that sort of thing. That's another thing. The UK is they don't have as big of a pop machine as Korea, but they still do the pop thing a little more than we do. Obviously, you see One
Definitely
Direction
groups.
got popular, and so Little Mix kind of came on their heels, but and they start promoting here a little bit a few months ago, but it just like it never really caught. Like they had this one song about
Wings?
huh?
The song Wings, isn't it?
Wings, yes, yes. The Wings. That was I think they played that on the radio a bit and that was on like a few shows and whatnot. But other than that, like they haven't really and I'm like they can sing and they do dance, but they don't it's not a huge focus on it. Mostly they just have awesome harmonies. And they're like everything I want in a Western like girl group, but you know, people aren't seeing it for them over here. They just aren't. So, and they also, interestingly enough, they did a Korean version of Wings, and their Korean version of Wings was based off of the duo Wings,
Oh,
who apparently sung that song as kind of a guide for them. You know, to sing off of, and that's how they got their group name, their duo name was from that song. They're like, well, we'll call ourselves Wings. But they have a Korean version that they've done. This doesn't sound too bad. Um, and I don't know. Apparently, they just decided to do it, and I was like, oh, I was like, it's so. I almost exploded when I found out. I was like, this is like awesome. I was like, Little Mix and K-pop converging, but
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, because I think they said that that they like K-pop, so they went ahead and did it.
Okay. Well, that one
Mm.
that doesn't surprise me either. K-pop's pretty popular in the UK, but yeah, but yeah, they did. There's a Korean version out there, and I remember reading some of the comments, and people were like, "Why can't K-pop singers sing like this?" And I'm like, because if there was a group that came out like that, you would ignore them just like you ignored Piggy Girls, and hopefully
oh.
Mamamoo will keep up their momentum, but you know, they prefer, they have a preference, and it's okay. Um, but yes, a little mixer for life,
Okay.
throwing up the
Mixer.
sign.
Okay.
Yes.
um, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about that was a little bit. It was an interesting kind of K-pop related thing. Since you weren't here last week, Tim, um, what are some things that you may want to talk about this week that you've noticed that have been going on in Korean entertainment?
So the thing I want to bring up first, especially because it's been like the wave of current like things, is the ice bucket challenge for
Yeah.
ALS. Um, I don't really want to focus on the actual idols that did it, just the two controversies that really came from it. The
Hmm.
first one that really stands out to me is Lee Kyung, who commented about people doing it, and he was like criticizing it, right? And his uh, what he said was, Ice bucket videos are uploaded like a trend lately. I acknowledge their intentions, but I wonder if they're doing it because they know anything about Lou Gehrig's disease. The ice water is supposed to express the contraction of the muscles and its pain, but everybody seems to be enjoying it too much for fun. Don't do it if it's for that reason. At least know that, or at least know this as a minimum. The disease that Lee Mung Min suffered from in the movie Lover by My Side is Lou Gehrig's disease. It makes me uncomfortable to see stars pour ice water over themselves and enjoy it like it's refreshing. To all the patients, please find strength. I'll be donating to those of you in pain. It disappoints me that I never hear these words. I was going to shoot an ice bucket video myself, but I know it's going to turn into shameless self-promotion, so I decided against it. Now, my biggest issue is that it's not that he doesn't have a point, because I see that he has a point. My issue is that he is taking the worst part about the challenge and blowing it up like it's a big deal. Especially in Korea, where there is a very famous person who suffers from ALS, and a lot of people know him, a lot of people have visited him, a lot of people understand that he's in pain.
Hmm.
While, the thing too is the ALS, like if you go to their page, they support the Ice Bucket Challenge like it is a fun thing that people should do it. There's no reason that you cannot have fun doing this challenge for a good reason. And he makes it sound like if you have fun, you're doing the challenge for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah. Well, that's one thing is I've noticed that also a lot of those kind of opinion pieces popping up in American media and Western media. A lot of people voicing, kind of, displeasure with it, and is this kind of is this a trend thing with all the celebrities doing it? And I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, especially now with social media. I mean, things become trend so quickly. But at the same time, that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially like you said, if
right.
it's for a good cause.
This
And
is
ALS, like you said, approves of it, and it's raising money for them.
Yeah, my biggest deal, like, and the reason that it bothers me so much is people are upset that it's becoming a trend. But last year they gathered from donations like 1.2 million or something. This
Hmm.
year they're already at $53.3 million donated to the Ice Bucket Challenge and the ALS organization. Who
Mm.
cares if it's a trend? Are you kidding me? This is
Hmm.
the point of it being a trend, is it's actually doing the thing that it's supposed to be doing. If one person goes and Googles what ALS is or the Lou Gehrig's disease is, then it's done its job. It's spread awareness. That's one more person who's learned about it. Who cares if it's just because your Opa did it in a white shirt? Like, I don't care. Who cares? But if you go do it and you donate money and you care about donating the money, I don't care how you got there, because this thing that needs money donated to it. Like, this is a good charity, has reached $53.3 million. Like,
Mm.
you can argue that it's a trend and that people are doing it for the wrong reasons all you want, but $53.3 million says you need to shut up. Like, it's doing the right thing. It is
I,
spreading awareness. The donations alone prove that more people, unless you're going to tell me that those same people who made it to like 1 million were like, nah, let's throw more money in it. Like, let's get it up to 53 million. Even if somebody just
mm,
goes and blindly donates $1,000, they still did a good thing. This is
Hmm.
encouraging people to do a good thing. Like,
yeah.
why harp on celebrities who are encouraging their fans to do a good thing? I just I can't
I
get
think it's
behind
I
that.
just, I think it's people's aversion to anything that becomes, like I said, becomes almost kind of a trend, and everyone's doing it and that sort of thing. Even if it's for a good cause, I think people have an aversion to it because, like even though, like you said it, it doesn't matter even if some people are doing it for the wrong reason. That's the main thing I think people are afraid of, or they don't want that kind of tainting it. Oh, now we've got all these celebrities doing it, coming out of the woodwork because, they get, some press because they're doing the ice bucket challenge. And, ultimately, that's not going to hurt, the charity, but, I can see where some people have, well, some of the people that have voiced, some concern, maybe that's like their kind of main issue with it.
I just think, for me personally, it's a part of a trend that's been going on this past couple of years, where people have to criticize pretty much everything and anything as long
Right.
as they can find something wrong with it. It's honestly been bugging me. It's the same in like Korean news websites when you see people commenting. They're gonna find something to complain about every time. Oh, this is so racist. Oh, like I remember like a Korean girl group had a bindi, like the Hindu mark on the forehead, and people were like going nuts. Like, oh, this is so. How can they do this? This is offensive to Indians. Like, honestly, even Indians don't even really care about the bindi. It used to be very sacred, and they use it for special occasion, different colors for different things. But now it's used more casually. People wear it just to feel like, oh, like a thing, like wearing like a golden necklace with a cross. It, and that's one thing that's been bugging me all the time. And that's what I think has happened with the ELS thing is people are so busy being politically correct that they cannot see past their judgment and just like see the grand scheme of things and like what the different things actually do. And like
Right.
if, and that's so I totally agree with you, Tim. It's just too much. It's just annoying.
Yeah, like that's my biggest issue is like and I'm with you on that with people, instantly jumping to oh that's racist. That like that whole thing is so new still. Like if you went back like 10 years, we didn't deal with that. Not everything that happened, people were like, "Oh, that's racist." You would see like a white guy try to do something that was urban, I'm doing air quotes, and before like 2000, I don't know, 2009, people weren't screaming cultural appropriation. Like people just like this word. People like to use the term racism. People like to use the term sexist. Those things exist. I 100% agree. Those things exist and it is a problem. Not everything falls into that category, but they're making these things fall into the category. And this ALS like trend thing is the same. People are
Exactly.
jumping on it and like making a big deal like it's bad because it's doing good and because so many people are doing it that you have to find the negative in it. You just can't have a good thing. There's no such thing as just a good thing.
Yeah.
It can't just be good.
And that's
That's my
like
issue.
and last week there was like a G Dragon thing and somebody said, oh, that he's appropriating black culture. I'm please look up like appropriating before you talk about it. Like, what does it actually mean? Like, not even academics that talk about this word there's no consensus. When it doesn't matter if it's about post-colonial studies or feminist theory, people are not actually like a culture appropriating. We are doing it all the time. Like, if you eat sushi, you're doing it. If you're
Right.
like if you're eating like if you're eating at an ethnic restaurant, or if you like Korean pop, or and you say 안녕하세요, you are culturally appropriating another culture. All of it doesn't have to be bad. And when I said it to this person, and they're like, oh, you what did they call me? They called me, oh, you traitor, you fucking coon. I was like, whoa.
Whoa.
Uh, I mean, everyone has their opinions. It doesn't have to go that far.
Yes.
Um, but like I said, like something that has gotten so big like this, it's just guaranteed to have its detractors, or
True.
they're going to find something wrong with it for some reason.
Yeah.
So, but I think looking at it, the advantages far outweigh the disadvantages. Because
Yeah.
in the end, even after people have lost interest, you're going to have, all this money that was donated. You're going to have all of this, knowledge spread about Lou Gehrig's disease, and that's the thing that's important.
Yeah.
Um,
Like just on just to go, like a send off point, but
mhm,
like the biggest thing and the reason it always bugs me is like charity has always and forever existed as like they do something fun to encourage you to donate to charity. Like you have Pink Month for breast cancer. You have the breast cancer walks that happen all over the world. You have walks for everything where people will sponsor you to go walk. And if you break it down, if you want to be so negative, why don't you go after those walks? Because they could just donate all that money instead of relying on somebody to walk. But it makes a spectacle of it, and that pulls attention to what's going on. Because you can guarantee 10, like if you took 10 people, 9 of them are probably going to watch it and be like, yes, or for whatever it is, like they just want to see the challenge. There's going to be at least one person who's going to be like, I wonder what this really is. Like, why are they doing this? And they'll go look
Mhm.
it up. That one person, you have spread awareness to that one person. If
mhm,
that one person goes and tells their friend, hey, look, this is why they're doing it, you've spread even more awareness. Like, people just look at the worst in something, and that's what I don't like. Like, just look at it for what it is. $53 million says that awareness has spread. Don't say that people are just doing this for no reason or to have fun. Like, why can't it be fun, but at the same time spread awareness? Why can't you have both? Why do you have to
Mhm.
ruin a good thing? That's my point. Don't ruin a good thing.
okay. Well, I think that made your point pretty well. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about this week, Tim?
That was my exciting one. The other one that I want to talk about, though, because it didn't get touched on, Sully and Choja's relationship is official now. They came out and
Oh.
admitted it and everything. Um, I've been like pretty much since it started and we had the podcast, I've made it a point to be a part of this topic. So like the fact that now it's public, I'm so pumped that it's public. But of course, like everything that I expected to happen did happen. You have all the people who are like, "Oh, Choja's disgusting. Oh, he's a pedophile," which is a really rude word to use
uh,
with a girl who is 20 years old. Like she is an adult. Please let her think for herself. Like I agree that there's a big age gap. There's a ton of relationships that have big age gaps in Korea. There's a ton of relationships that have big age gaps in America. We call girls cougars for liking young dudes. Nobody gets mad at that. Like
yeah. I mean,
I
even in Korea, there's the whole Nuna
yeah,
culture.
yeah. So, and I agree that the age gap is very big, for this couple, but it's clear that in Korea that age gap isn't such a big deal to a lot of people. Like Papa YG has an old or has a really young girl as his wife, and they're married and they have kids and they're clearly happy together. Who are you to say that they're too far apart? Like you can't
Mhm.
judge, you can't just be like, oh, this girl's 20, she doesn't know anything about her life. You don't know that. Like,
Yeah.
how do you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So
but the
what? So what part of the Soli Choiza thing do you want
Right, I was going to get to that.
to?
So the big thing that I wanted to bring up is all the people who are like blaming Choja completely for ruining not only Sully and her career but FX. Um, and I have a really big issue when people blame like relationships on ruining things because that's essentially what you're doing. You're blaming this relationship. It takes two people to be in a relationship. It's not one person. It's not Choja, I'm in love with Sully and I will never let her go. It's them being in a relationship. They're going out together. She is making the choice to go with him and do things. And people are instantly going to like, oh, he's manipulating her. He has all the power in the relationship because he's older. And it's like, so we're just going to assume that Sully has no brain and can't think for herself? Like she's just being controlled? We're going to assume that's just the way it is? Like, that stuff is like, they're in a relationship. how is it so hard to understand that a person may love another person and not want to do something that they said they didn't want to do from the very beginning? Sully didn't want to be an idol. She said it. She said she wanted to be an actress. She joined SM to be an actress. People like a year and a half to 2 years ago were bringing up the fact that Sully never looks like she's happy on stage, and that they thought she only was in FX to be an actress, and that FX was, organizing their schedules around her so she can be an actress. And then it's like this comes out and she has a relationship scandal, and it's all Choja. It's like, so we're not going to hold her responsible for anything? I don't think you should hold her responsible for the hiatus. That's SM clearly trying to drag her through the mud. But how can people sit there, not you in specific, but people in general sit there and say that she has no, like, she's not at fault or anything? Like, I don't think it's bad for her to want to be in a relationship. I don't think it's bad for her to say, I don't want to be an idol, I want to be an actress. Do I think that this is probably the worst way to go about it? Yeah. I mean, yeah, probably.
So
But
you think
that's not my choice.
that SM is actually punishing Sully for doing
Oh,
this?
Oh, yeah.
yes.
They're dragging her through the mud. Like, the fact that they put her whole group on hiatus after having them perform as four, why? Why put her group on hiatus?
And actually, I found out when her group FX appeared on a song for you that Sully was actually there. She just was cropped out or edited out of like basically any scene that she was in. Which
SM,
I
like,
don't know how they did since they were all like just sitting there and it was like kind of an interview type
Yeah.
this
of
is my
show.
problem with SM, and when people leave, is they're really quick to drag up all the mud. They're so quick
Mm.
to just burn that artist that's trying to leave. When JYJ left, when DBSK broke up, when all that nonsense was going on, SM was real quick to be like, oh, but they have all these nice cars. Oh, they have all this nice stuff. Like, they're just being ridiculous. Like, they're
This.
so quick to paint their label as beautiful. Same with Chris. Like, they were real quick to just bring up all the bad things that happened. Real quick to
Yeah.
have people be like, oh, that's messed up. How could you leave us? Like, they're
Yeah.
so quick to paint this picture where whoever is trying to leave is wrong, and they're biting the hand that feeds them, and all that nonsense. Like, they're so quick to instill that. And
And you.
like, I'm not saying other people don't do it, but SM is so good about doing it so quick. Like, they'll burn you real quick.
And don't forget the JYJ incident, like with slapping the fans.
Oh
They
yeah,
suddenly it got released, and oops.
yeah.
And
It
then
was
Yeah.
suddenly,
it was the best kept secret for so long, and then suddenly when they try to leave, it's like, oh man, you remember that one time Yu-chun or Jae-jung slapped a fan, and it's like, oh really? That's some convenient timing to bring that up.
yeah, and they forgot to the crotch grabbing the fan did also.
Yeah, so
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
agree.
mean, oh, go ahead.
No,
Whoever was talking.
I like. I think the reaction has been quite mixed. Some people blame Choiza because, honestly, to some extent, I do agree with them. Hold on, Tim. The thing
I'm
is,
not gonna interrupt you.
the thing is, how old is he? 37, 38?
I want to say he's 35.
Okay, 35. And like she is 20, they probably dated for like since she was 19, right? When
Uh,
when
that's what people
when she was, yeah, well, a year at least. That's what they say. And she's like barely legal in Korea at least. And the thing is, like we all know, we were 19, 20. We were pretty dumb. Like not dumb, but like when you're young at that age, you make some dumb decisions. And and I think a lot of people, not those crazy people who only blame Choza, it's just that they feel like someone of, at his age should maybe have known better, and they're not just blaming him because of because he's dating her. It's also because he kept talking about her during interviews,
hmm
and like it made her even look even worse. And it was kind of him, like a Korean said, it's kind of him like bragging about it, and that's what like ticked some people off. And in that sense, I totally agree. In the other sense, Sully, she has to take a part of this because not only is it about the promotion ending, it's also because she's not shown up for the the press release of the movie she's in. She's not. They have to edit her in different shoots for the commercials and the posters for the movie, and she hasn't apologized for it. She doesn't show up. It's like bad manners. Look, she's not just ruining her music career. She's ruining her career. Period. She doesn't have any like even as an actress, she will have a hard time getting back because you don't do that. Not even like the biggest stars in Korea, like the A list, would ever not show up for a photo shoot for advertisement for a movie. They would never. And like because they know if they do it, that could end their career. And she doesn't even have a career, and she's not even that good of an actress. So
Well,
that's
I
my
mean, just one thing that I've noticed is that there's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of people, there's some people supporting Sully. There's a lot of people, obviously, that are upset. I mean, people burning photos and,
oh
a
god.
lot of angry FX fans. But um, I mean, I think that's kind of the narrative around her in general is that, well, what she thinks she's too good for, this Korean entertainment thing. She's basically been doing this since she was, pretty young. She's been training in SM and so it seems like the the story that's being kind of crafted here, especially in the media, is, oh well, Sully thinks she's too good for this, or she's too concerned about Choja now, so she's not going to do her job or do what they're what she's being paid to do.
Mm,
Um, I think you can look at it a bunch of different ways. I mean, I feel like if I cared more about, I like effects, but if I was more invested, I would be kind of put off by the fact that it's like, why leave and do all of this right when they're promoting and right when they should be, why not wait until after you guys are done promoting, or have done it right before you guys started preparing for your upcoming promotion? Why do this in the middle and have all of this mess to have to deal with?
mm,
um and I can understand the frustration over that. you know
mm. Oh,
Um, just to kind of touch on the points you made, Noah.
mm,
The biggest issue that I have with people who talk about Choja, and I understand where you're coming from, and I also agree that like the way things went, he is clearly an asshole. Um, the problem that I have with that is like one, it's not like he went on shows and was like, I'm gonna brag about Sully. It was him going on shows and people asking him questions. Choja, from the beginning of his career, had always been the type of person who, if you ask him a question, he's gonna answer it to like he's gonna be honest. That was one of the things that people always talked about. He was very blunt and he's very honest, but people always talked about how he was a really nice guy. So people instantly going, "Oh, he's an asshole. He should have known better." Blah 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 blah. Like I have a hard time believing, especially knowing that they talk. Like clearly, how could you expect them not to talk?
mm,
Why would he continue to do this, knowing it was hurting Sully, if there wasn't something more to it? I firmly do not believe that Sully ever contacted him and was like, "Don't talk about me, Oppa. Like they're dragging me through the mud. I'm so sad. I'm crying." I don't believe that ever happened. I genuinely cannot fathom that because I have met Choja, and I know that Dynamic Duo has like a bad rep, but it's
mm,
Gecko that has the bad rep. And people seem to be like, "Oh, if it's Gecko, then it must be Choja." Choja has a good reputation. People say that he's very nice. Before all of the Sully drama, he was getting really popular for being good looking and for being nice, but people always mentioned that he was very honest and very open. When I
mm,
met him, he was definitely the nicest. I met him, Simon D, and Gecko, and he definitely was the nicest. Like he was the only one that really paid attention to me and asked me things in bad English. Like he took, and I
mhm,
realized I'm a fan, and I'll say this honestly, like I'm clearly a fan. He could have been playing up to me. I have no problem admitting that. But I also
mm,
didn't like him as much as I liked everybody else. Like going into it, I was like, ah, whatever, Choja's cool, but and then meeting him and seeing the way that he paid attention to like me as a human being instead of just me as like a dude who's coming up to take pictures and is 6 feet tall. He was like, he acknowledged my existence. Simon D and Gecko were basically like, "Oh, look, it's a tall half black guy, and let's take the picture." Okay, continue. Gecko was like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like he took the time to acknowledge my existence as a human being. I have a hard time believing that he could not take, like he could not acknowledge the fact that he was hurting his girlfriend unless there's more to it. Like
You're
that's my
probably
issue.
you're
Yeah.
probably right. For me, it's like I don't blame him as much as I blame her because she had obligations. She has a contract. She like she can't show up for a photo shoot, but she can go on dates. Sorry, girl. She has time enough to watch her own face on a movie, but she cannot
Hmm.
show up for a photo shoot. Sorry, that girl, in my eyes, if she wants to be out, she should have done it like Chris. Like I'm out. It doesn't matter what SM says. They can throw me through the mud. I'm out. Bye. Peace. Then I would have respected her. But she's
Yep,
keeping
totally
quiet,
agree.
and letting her drag her through the mud. She comes off as the villain, and it's hard to not dislike her because of it. But at the same time, I know SM, they're evil. So there's probably, like you said, there's probably a whole lot more to this, and she's probably not as bad. But something must have happened, and we will probably never know because SM is good at covering up stuff until they want something
Unless
uncovered.
that mole that's working in within the corporation,
Mm.
releases some stuff, and
Shadowy SM figures.
okay. Was there anything else that you wanted to bring up, Tim, before we move on to Kiara?
Those are really the big two for me. So,
Okay.
uh, yeah.
Okay. Kiara, would you like to discuss? Well, actually, I know
You
sort of
know.
what you would like to discuss, but go ahead, Cass. Go ahead.
Look at me. Look at me. I'm so giddy. But I really main two things I want to talk about were the comebacks because last show I talked about their teasers. So now that their music videos have come out and they've had performed, I want to talk about Kata and Orange Caramel's comebacks. Um, well, I'm going to talk about Orange Caramel first because I know it'll be shorter than Kara. So with Orange Caramel, I watched their music video and I just love the whole concept of the whole Where's Waldo, and like trying to like find the difference in the images in the MV, and it's really fun and quirky, and I like that the fact that they actually got permission to do it and just didn't do it and act like copyright isn't a thing, you know. But
That's good on them. Very good on them.
But I love it. The music video is bright, colorful, and the girls look gorgeous. I love the long white shirts they're wearing, but it has an image of like a woman, wearing like kind of like showgirls type clothing, but
Yeah, yeah,
it's
I thought that
printed on
was
the tee.
funny.
I thought it was funny and very quirky, and it was like that we're dressing sexy, but not really. I just thought it was cute. And I mean, it's not their greatest song, but I think the song is fun, and so it's not bad, and I'm enjoying it. So there's that. And then moving on to Kara, unless you guys have anything to say about Orange Caramel.
I'm still a little disturbed that they added the crazy eyes
Wow,
into
you
the
saw?
MV a little bit. I was like, I don't get that. But I think that's one thing with Orange Caramel is that they're always entertaining, even if the songs aren't, a immediate hit. People like them and they're interested in them because it's like, hey, they're gonna do something, interesting or do something that other groups aren't doing, and they're gonna wear some crazy outfits or do something interesting with their music videos, and they usually deliver on that. And I think especially with all the influx of groups and a lot of the kind of same concepts being reused over and over again, to have a group that's kind of unique and stands out really that's a huge point in their favor.
Yeah. I think I like the video. I think this song, like, I think it's the most commercial song I've heard from them. Like in the sense that it's not that quirky. It's like it's a song that I think I any girl could sing and it wouldn't be weird because usually their songs are very unique and it's like very orange caramel. Like it's nothing any other group could do. But this song I think is yeah. I mean, it's not my favorite song. It's not my favorite video, but I like it. But the thing is, like the Catalina video was so good, was so weird and so different. It like I've set the bar pretty high for Orange Caramel, and I think it's weird that the subunit is having more comebacks than the actual entire group.
Do you really think that's weird?
It's like
Like, let's think about it for a second.
Do you,
I mean it's
do you
it's
promote the group that actually sells or the group that doesn't? That's the real question.
well I don't know which group sells, but
Orange
I mean,
Caramel?
but
Orange Caramel has been more
I would
successful.
well I would think that's because they promote more
They
than
were
the
more
actual group.
successful right off the bat, though. After School promoted more
No.
before. Yes, they were.
Like After School as a group has had bigger hits than Orange Camel has
No,
ever
they
had.
have not.
Are you
I
kidding me? They won #1 on shows and
Dude,
everything. Come
are you
on.
serious? Go look at
Yes.
the charting
I
that
would
Orange Caramel has
say,
done. Go look.
okay, looking at the past, that's, we could argue about that, but currently, I think it's pretty safe to say Orange Caramel is more relevant than After School. Now, that doesn't mean After
Done.
School can't pop up and, have a hit song and, slay everybody, but definitely Orange Caramel is definitely making more money for Pledis because that's why they're pimping them out so much. Um, but that doesn't mean the After School is bad. After School fans, don't come after me.
No.
It's just that Orange Caramel is, they, like I said, I think they've got their. I think After School kind of struggles to find their niche a lot of the time, and after Orange Caramel is they have their niche, they have their thing, they're distinctive. People know who they are, what they're about, and
Yeah.
they've made a career out of it. So
Yeah, and I don't disagree. I just saying it's probably because they promote them more, and that's why they're more relevant. And After School as a whole group, I think the whole problem with them started when they tried to have something unique for every comeback, like the drums, and then the stripper poles, and then something else. Like the whole, like yeah, it's just it makes them different from other groups, but it also has not that been successful compared to before when they were just another girl group. They were more successful. They actually won #1s. They won music shows.
They won #1 one time. One time. They won with Because of You one time.
Yeah, well, they
Like,
did, but they won. That's my
which is
point.
personally my favorite
right.
song of theirs.
I'm not
But
Yeah,
saying that they never won, but literally, you can look at their charting, and Orange Caramel has charted more successfully since they've been out. And they
yeah,
came out
exactly.
after School won #1.
But After School has sucked since Orange Camel came out, and like
So why promote what sucks?
Big
That's what I'm asking. I
Big Bang
don't.
has Big Bang has more comebacks than After School. Come on.
Okay,
well,
but why
like I
promote what
said,
sucks? That's what I'm
Cletus
saying.
play this. They've got the guy group coming out. Why aren't they working on After School? I think that's something that maybe we should be asking them. What else, Kiara? Before this turns
Sorry.
into, it's
Y'all,
okay.
y'all
I
are
didn't even talk
somewhere
about the
else.
music video.
Go ahead, Tim. What do
No,
you?
I don't even have like a lot to say. Like I had fun, which is very rare. I don't really like Orange Caramel. I thought it was fun though. I think this is definitely like the only song that I'd be like, yeah, that can stay on. Like Orange Caramel comes on, I skip it. This one, nah, I'm cool with it. Like, I think they all looked really cute. I thought the video was funny, which is really rare. Like their little sexy girl outfits with on their shirts, loved it. Beautiful. Like, I laughed so much when I first saw it, especially because I love Lizzie. So I was like, yes, this is hilarious. I had a good time. I liked it. I have nothing bad to say about it. It was fun.
Shocking. I would have took you for a Nana fan.
Um, I don't like Nana that much actually. Like, I like
What?
Lizzie because she's really silly. Like, that's the only appeal
Hmm.
she has
Yeah,
for
that's
me.
true.
I love it,
Interesting.
and I like that she's from Busan. I have a thing for people from Busan. I don't know. I can't
Hmm.
explain it. Like
Hmm.
Yeah,
something
that's
about the like. Yeah, I guess. Like, don't tell anybody though. It's cultural appropriation apparently. Don't tell anybody.
Uh-oh, we're gonna lose viewers.
Okay. Kiara, so yeah, I believe you have another girl group to talk about or whatever else you want to mention.
Okay.
This is gonna be good.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on to Kara. They just had their comeback with Mamma Mia, and the music video came out, and they're already like halfway done with their comeback for comeback week. Um, and there's just no words. just I'm so happy. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm so happy right now.
As a Kara fan, it was like everything you wanted and more. Like you didn't feel yourself missing. You didn't feel yourself missing Nicole or Jiyoung at all, or you didn't feel weird about them not being there.
Not at all. To be
Mm.
honest, I'm like again, like I
Dang.
said. Okay,
Shade.
I'm like as a fan, like
Just bring a tree in here or what? What happened?
no, like as a fan, I was sad that they left, but I'm not one of those fans that just hold that like just stay stuck in the past and be like, I don't like whatever about the future. Like I embraced Youngji, and then I knew like it's going. This is like a new Kara. This is a new chapter in the history of Kara. So instead of just like thinking about Nicole and Jiyoung performing Mamma Mia with them, it's more like I'm just focusing on the four of them and not really thinking about Nicole or Jiyoung. So with that mindset, like when I watched the music video, I just couldn't help but be so emotional because I was like, oh my god, they all look so good. They all sound so good. This is so beautiful. This is definitely the new Kara, and I'm just so excited and so happy and just everything. I love the song. Like the song is very fun. I like the how do you call it, the disco-y feel to it. I love choreography. It's fun. It's not really complicated, but it's something I'm already seeing a lot of dance covers, so it seems a
For a
lot of
girl
people.
group, it's pretty good choreography though.
Yeah, it's very hard.
It's very
It's
fun.
pretty Kara. Like, it's not
Yeah,
that hard. It looks a lot harder than it really is.
yeah.
Which
It's
is
very.
fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's that, and then they all just look so amazing, and they're just like, oh my god, there's just no words. I don't know what to say.
She's like totally like standing out right now. But it's awesome. It's like
It
genuine
was
like
winter last
excitement.
week. Now
Like
it's
usually
Oh,
we're like, well, I'm not saying I like the group, but no, but this is like genuine like
joy.
actual admiration and like group love. It's wonderful. Yeah, I have to say Youngji, I she fit right in. I mean, I spent, I think I when I watched the MV, I was, I spent a lot of it, looking for her just to kind of see her parts, and a lot of the time, some of it was due to editing, but I felt like she kind of fit right in with the girls, and as far as the music video, I've always liked Kara's look. I've never been a huge Kara fan, but I've always liked their kind of look, their kind of style. I mean, that's the best thing I can say about this song and the videos. They're very Kara-ish. I mean, if that makes any sense,
Yep.
it's very them. And I like the fact that it also has kind of a more mature sentiment about it as well. And the song is not bad either. So
I totally agree. I'm with Kiara here. I'm Slade. I love that. I love that. The outfits, the dance, like they all looked so good. I mean, maybe a bit too skinny. And the
Well,
new
they did go
girl,
on a
they
diet
exercised.
regimen to fit in those outfits.
They didn't know,
They,
they didn't diet. They exercised.
No, they
okay, well,
dieted.
That's what they
They're
said.
full of they're full of crap. They
Well, that
dieted.
too probably, but
I'm
but
not denying
well,
that they
they
regardless,
they
they
exercised,
lost
but they
they
dieted.
lost they lost some weight. We know that much.
Yeah.
yes, especially Yuri. Like I've never seen her this skinny because they usually cover up her stomach or something because well, she's not as skinny as the others. But she looked amazing. I never seen Giri smile so much during a comeback stage. And but one thing, that new girl Yoonji, is it me or or is she a little bit cross-eyed? Just a little
uh,
She
bit.
has this
I'm
CL
glad
thing,
somebody else said it.
Yes.
this CL thing going on.
A little bit.
Um,
Maybe,
She's a little cross-eyed.
maybe,
It seems
maybe.
like it.
Yeah. And well, you could correct that. Just do some eye exercise. That's no problem.
I
And
actually.
I'm not gonna judge anybody for being cross-eyed. Go,
no,
girl.
still looked amazing. And during the comeback stage, she made a couple of mistakes. So she was like looking for her spot, and well,
yeah, I'm sure she was extremely nervous. I
yeah.
mean,
Can you blame her? I mean, I
mhm.
don't think those girls are going easy on her. But her latest performance on Music Bank, she was on it. She was good. All of them look amazing, and I like that she's actually a little bit heavier, and not heavy, but she's not as thin as the other girls, and I like that.
We'll see how long that lasts, but
Yeah.
yeah, no. I mean, I always I always notice that because obviously looks and everything are such a huge thing with K-pop, and so anybody that's like a little bit different is, I mean, for me personally, I kind of like hook on to them, and I'm like, oh, you're cool, you're different.
Yeah.
Um, and Youngji is she the youngest? She's younger
Yes.
than the
Yeah,
others, right? Too. So
Yes.
she's
She's
19.
amazing.
yeah, so that might change as time goes on. But like I said, I thought they fit her in seamlessly, so
Yeah, I agree.
it didn't come off as awkward at all. Like I asked, like with Kiara, I thought maybe for Kara fans it would be awkward, but
Oh,
um
No,
for
it was
some
not.
of them, for some who are like so stuck on the whole Kara being 5 members, it's awkward for them. But for me, I'm enjoying it. I'm not like Nicole and Jiyoung. They're doing their thing. Well, because I wanted to kind of also bring it up with Kara's comeback. It was just announced, that Jiyoung signed with a company in Japan, so she's now going to be, acting in Japan, and how she's gonna have kind of like a comeback at on the runway, like she's gonna be part of a fashion show, like one of those big fashion shows in Japan next month, I
Good.
believe. So
Yes.
She's super foxy now. She should be.
she's already doing, she's
Foxy.
already starting her own solo thing. She's going on her own road. So it's just like, it's why hold on to what used to be in there. She's living her life now. And Nicole, she's doing Pilates. She's playing with her dogs on
Doing yoga.
Yeah, she's doing her life, she's doing her thing, and maybe soon we'll see something solo from her. But as of now, they're all living their life, and as a fan, I'm enjoying all of it. I take it all. I
Yeah.
go with the flow.
Kiara,
And
you are a very reasonable grown-up fan. That's
Yeah.
nice
yeah.
to see.
Yes.
Even fangirling, you were very reasonable. Like
Yeah.
No,
I
no.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
I have to just say the styling is on point. That's one thing I love about Kara. Their
Mhm.
styling is always good, and they still remains for me as the prettiest girl group.
I've always thought
Um.
so too myself.
Facial wise,
Yeah.
their
So
faces, like their
I
faces
think
stand out. They're unique. Like all
yeah.
other girl groups, they tend to look the same, and I can
so
different. Okay, Tim's not agreeing with me.
I
I
well
kind of agree with
first.
with Noah. I'll put my hat in there.
Yeah,
I don't agree
good.
that they're the prettiest group. I definitely don't agree anymore. With the loss of my sweet
Dion.
Jiyoung and my sweet Nicole, I definitely don't. Not to say that I think they're ugly. I don't. Like, I think that they are pretty girls. I wouldn't say that they're the prettiest group. Um, I
It's
am
okay.
that I'm not gonna say anything. Like, I don't think anything bad of them. I just don't think they're the prettiest group. For the song and the comeback, it's Kara. Like, so that's good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad that it's Kara because I was afraid it was gonna be like something weird and it was gonna be not Kara and I was gonna be like, what is this? I don't know what this garbage is. But it's Kara. It's very clearly Kara, which is good. I'm glad that they didn't lose what their group was, like a lot of groups do when they get new members. That being said, I don't really like it. But I'm not a Kara fan, and that's the only reason I don't like it. I'm not really a Kara fan. I don't dig the weird offside ponytail with fluffy hair thing that Hara did. I don't want that. Get that away
I
from me.
love it.
Like,
I love
take it
it.
away forever. It looks so awful. She looks
It looks so
ridiculous.
good. She looks
It looks like
amazing.
a little girl did her hair and was like, I don't know. It's like,
No, she's giving us that 70s Gloria Gaynor fabulous afro. No, I love it.
yes, the 7-year-old hair. Yes, I agree.
70s.
Um, but yeah, it was very Kara. That's good. The new girl wasn't my favorite on the show. In fact, she was probably my least favorite. So I thought it was kind of weird that she like sweeped on the show. But she cleaned up like the issues I had with her. I felt like she was kind of tone deaf on the show. And she sounds good. You know, now she sounds good. So she probably got better training, which is good. I think that they already knew they were going to put her in Kara, so I think the show was kind of unnecessary. Um, but I think she did good. Like she fits in with them. She doesn't look out of place. I literally just don't really like the song because it's a Kara song, and I'm not big on Kara. Like that's literally it. So I don't think it's a bad song, and I hope they win. So
Me
um,
too.
No,
Yay!
no, but they have to wait like a couple weeks when winner slays everything, and then they can win.
no, I hope they beat Winner. I hope they beat
No,
Winner.
no.
Hope Winner
Stop.
has some
I
actual
hope they beat
competition.
Winner because I hope that it'll force Inner Circles to calm down because they need to calm down. Y'all need to calm down.
Oh no. Okay. Uh-oh. Inner Circle
Him?
is coming back to haunt you, Noah. Which
Y'all
is
need to
I
chill.
was gonna
Real
mention
talk.
as a callback to last
You're
week.
dead.
I just made the title for the podcast. I was like, can anyone, can Sistar be stopped? And it's like, and then
Yeah.
like literally the day of or day after, it's like, oh well, Winter is gonna be the one to stop Sister. Okay, even though I wasn't surprised at all, but at the same time, and that's another thing is, I wanted to say I forgot to mention it. I don't know if anyone else had this as a news item as well, but while Winner is winning Music Bank and Mnet, Team B
I was gonna bring that
are
up.
about to go through another reality show.
Thank you.
Yay!
And it's a
Woo!
survival reality show, and I don't know the if they're gonna get kicked, if they could possibly get kicked off, or I don't know. I got I thought there was understanding that Team B would maybe at one point debut as their own group, but now it looks like they're just gonna be in this thing called Mix and Match, and it's a
I,
survival reality show, and yeah, I yeah, I feel kind of bad for them, but I guess they're probably happy to still be in the industry at this point. So
I don't feel bad for them, and this is why.
me neither.
And I wanted to bring this up too because you guys talked about Winner and everything, and like as another person who like I consider myself a YG fan, like it touches home with me. Like I want to first say that I do like Winner's debut. I think that Winner fans need to chill out, like really hard, and this is my reason. Like Winner fans have created this animosity between Winner and Team B that shouldn't be there because those two
Oh no
groups
no!
are
Team
so
B fans
close.
started it. Team B fans.
It doesn't matter who started. Shh. It doesn't matter. Your group debuted, so don't hold animosity towards Team B anymore. Your team debuted. Like you won. Chill out. This is why I say Inner Circles need to chill out. They won. The
Okay,
other
say
thing
what you want. Okay, sorry. Say what you
The
want to say.
other thing I was gonna say for the team for Team B going through this mix and match thing with they're bringing what they're gonna do is they're gonna bring in three more at least trainees that are on YG, and there's a potential that some people may lose their spot. There's a potential they may just add people,
Mm.
and I think that's good because I think that the Winner Show or Win TV, whatever it was called, showed that there are holes in Team B, and that's why because they were set up to win. Um, Everybody knows it. Like Taeyang and GD both
Yes.
admitted that competition was set up to showcase the new Big Bang, which was supposed to be Team B, and they lost because fans made Winner the team to win. Um, you could tell when YB would talk to Team A Winner on the show that he knew they were not poised to win. Like there was no idea that Papa YG thought they were going to win. So the fact that they did win, I think, is great. Like I think that they were the team that was prepared to go, and I'm glad that they debuted first. I think Team B had holes that needed to be filled, and one of them is the fact that their two main staple members are sloppy, and they need to fix it. And putting them on this show will not only bring people to watch the show because people eat up YG reality shows like nobody's business. Everybody loves
Mm.
it. That's part of the reason that Winner is so successful is they were on this reality show that blew up. Everybody loved it. They gained so many fans before debut. They were a shoe-in to win. Um, Big Bang had their reality show Finding the Last Member, and it blew up. It was great. And so people immediately upon debut were like, we need to see what Big Bang does. We need to know what Big Bang is. We have to know. We have to know. They build fans by doing that.
Mm.
Team B needs that because they've been kind of they've been shown to be weak now that Show Me the Money happened, and and BI, who's supposed to be their leader, did so poorly. Putting this show on will get back fans that have started to leave that don't like them. It'll also bring in fans that are curious what's going to happen, and I think that it will tone them up as a group because they need it. So I think them announcing this is great. The only problem is that puts the girl group that's supposed to come from YG even farther back, and it's going to make those fans ridiculously angry. Excuse me. Like the Win show was supposed to be for the original girl group that YG was going to put out, and then he gave it to those boys. This next show that's coming up was supposed to be for the girl group to make up for the fact that they took away their reality show, and now they're giving it to YG. So, like, they're just pushing them back, and that's Jenny Kim's group, and Yeona Kim already left. Like, she left to go do something else because she was tired of waiting. So I have a feeling you're going to see more female trainees in YG who are going to be like, I don't want to wait, because they have to wait till like 2015 at least. Realistically, probably 2016.
No.
You really? Look how long Winter took after their show.
Yeah, that's true. That
Like, are you going to be real with
I
me
mean,
right now?
just look at YG in general. His whole kind of method of releasing things. He has his own method to his madness, and
I'll be surprised if we get a girl group from YG before 2016. A new girl group. I think we'll get To Anyone, but I don't think we're going to get a new girl group by
I
any
don't
means.
think we get it to anyone in a long while.
I think we'll get To Anyone in 2015.
something from them, like a
I don't know if
single
we'll
or
get To
something.
Anyone with like Bomb on stage, but I think we'll get To Anyone.
I think So Bomb will be on stage because she's been singing with them recently. I think
Well, it's not
Yeah,
an issue
but
like
for her not
post
hanging out with her friend.
the whole controversy.
but the whole drug scandal, oof, it's bad.
I could see them releasing a single and not promoting like at all. I could see that completely. And I
Me
don't
too.
believe we're going to go a year without a single from
Okay.
To Anyone.
Okay, Tim, now let me just say, this whole winner Team B issue and the fans, I know everybody needs to chill out. The problem is not the fans, it's YG, because like, they always trying to, like, what's the point of having a winner, one group debuting and being the winner, and then inserting the team that lost in everything that the other group who has debuted and everything they do, like uh, the song, like Winner wrote like 40 songs for this debut, and they decided to put like probably one of the worst songs from the album as the lead single. Why? Like
Which
there
song
was
are you
like
talking about? Time out. Which song?
empty. It's
I
like
like Empty.
it's not that bad, but it's very YG. It's
I
not
like that
like
song way more than Color Ring. Like, way
yeah.
more.
Well, I actually like different more. It's
Well,
not a
I'm just
song.
talking about the songs from their
Yeah, but
that
I
they're
mean
promoting.
but on the album they have better songs.
It doesn't.
And
That's not.
yeah,
You
well that's
promote
not
the
the
song that's
point.
gonna sell.
Yeah, and the thing is, and that's my whole, and that's what I think the whole inner circle had an issue with. That like let Team B be Team B and be winner, and don't like and just try and avoid the whole conflict by putting them on the same stage as winner. Like why have a group that hasn't even debuted on stage on a YG concert? If like you don't do that. Like no other company puts trainees unless it's a like official show where they showcase trainees.
But Winner didn't debut yet when they got to go on stage.
Well, they won. The whole point is they won.
Right,
Like
but
don't
when
get
they
me
didn't
wrong, like they
debut,
debuted.
this this is my issue. Is they won. Everybody knows that they won. Team B knows that they won. Why should those guys who were these guys like they're separated. I get that. They were trainees together. All of these guys were trainees together. Before this competition started, they were all trainees together with the exception of Sung Yoon who was a trainee but got to debut. Like
Mm.
they are friends. Why would you think they wouldn't want to be around each other?
But come on,
People have
that's
created this idea that they're just
no,
rivals. Yes, you guys have. You guys have made them
no.
rivals
Oh,
by
like you
asking.
guys stop.
Maybe
So,
we
so
shouldn't be so personal and say you, but
Okay,
some
the
inner circle people have done.
the
I mean, there's gonna
the
in all
loud
fandoms, there's
community.
always going to be this, kind of, us against them thing, especially with boy groups,
Right. The
yes.
because everyone
community is
wants their
what I'm
group to
referring to.
be.
The loud community that is the coloring fans and the loud community that's Team B fans. I'm not saying Team B is innocent. I don't like either groups because I think that they're already on a bad track. But I do think Winner's debut was good, and I like YG, so I'm going to support them. But
Yeah.
the loud fans that are talking about them are making it sound like they want them completely separate. Why when they're friends? Like in
They're
no other group, in no other label would you be like, "Oh, don't let label mates work with label mates." They're label mates. Realistically speaking, they are label
I
mates.
guess with YG, it's because they don't do the whole. I mean, they do have the YG concert, but they don't do the whole one big happy family thing as much as like
Yes, they
maybe
mm,
do.
JYP. They
no,
kind
they
of do it, but I
What do
feel
you
like
mean they
they're.
don't?
not the
I don't
same
know.
way that other
I
JYP
feel
or
like
SM
when they
does.
do have their artists together, unless sometimes there's just kind of an awkwardness that's, I don't know, like it's like they're forced to be together. I don't know.
So
I just
GD being in love with 2NE1 and always showing up for their concerts, and 2NE1 showing up for YB's solo concerts, like they don't
no,
have that many people on that label. I don't know. I don't know what you mean.
no. I
2NE1 and
mean,
Big Bang are the
I'm not
two like
saying that
big ones that are pushed.
they don't support one another. I'm just saying that they don't indulge in. I guess maybe the better way would be like they don't indulge in
Fan service?
fan service and such, maybe as much
So
as the others do.
But I
I
think
don't know.
I
Maybe that's why the whole separation thing, and then people want Team B to be their own entity, as opposed to winner.
I think
But
yeah.
it benefits them in the long run to be a close unit. I think it will be more beneficial, especially because there were so many people when it first started, before the communities kind of broke apart, that were like, oh, I want to see this person work with this person. I want to see Bobby work with Team A. I want to see
yeah.
Taehyun work with Team B. Like there, that existed, and it's like weeks went in, and then people are like, they're separate. No, and that's it. And it's like,
I mean, I
Yeah.
think
what
personally
about when they
it would
fought
be a cool
JYP? Like
thing
they
if
were
they
friends.
intermingled and did different things with each other, but I don't know. Personally, it doesn't seem like YG is looking to do a super group, type of thing. So we
No.
may, not see that so much. But for them personally, yeah, it definitely would be more of a advantage for them to stay, close as far as, being in the business and being artist and that
Well,
sort of thing. Kiara, do you have anything else to add?
To what? To about winter and TV?
Or to winner or anything else that you wanted to add in general.
I mean, my energy was so high when we were talking about car, but the moment you guys went into winter and Teen Beat,
It was just like I don't care.
it just all died for me, and I'm like, okay,
Ah.
because I have no opinion of neither. But
Like
going
Well,
that's
back,
for
the best
you,
part.
okay,
It
as a
doesn't
Kara
mess to me.
fan, Kiara, as a
Yeah.
Kara fan, how would you rate Mamma Mia on the list of like I guess Kara singles?
it wouldn't be number one, but it'd definitely be. You mean as at least for their main singles, it would be in my top five for their
Really?
Korean
Okay.
songs. For their
Yeah,
Korean
mine too.
songs.
Mine
Like,
too.
because there some of the Japanese singles would definitely be higher, but I'm just
Oh
talking
yeah.
strictly about their Korean songs. It would be, and as for songs that they promoted, it'd be in my top five. But like, yeah, but it wouldn't be number one though. But it'll
Mm.
be up
What's
there.
your number one, by the way?
My number one would be Lupin. I love that
Yeah,
song.
that would
I
Oh,
be my
did.
number one
I
too.
that's
Yeah.
my favorite
I
concept
love
by
that
them.
song.
Yeah,
I would
definitely.
go with Lupin. I did like that.
That's like the
I
song that I love. Like I can hear that song over and over again, and I would not get sick of it. Like I love
I
it.
really like that's the one Kara song that if it came on, I'd be like, that's my shit. I'm there. Let's do it, Kara, all
and
day.
I
Like,
love the concept. It was so unlike them, and just it was good.
fierce.
It all fit. Yeah, it was fierce. It was fit. Everything fit together so well. I like the Lupin era. Disappointed when they went another direction, but okay.
they killed it with that
Anything?
song too. I'm surprised they went away from it.
Yeah. Well, anything else you want to add, Kiara, before we go to Noah?
I did want to also mention, Sistar is continue. Did I mention this earlier? Maybe I don't know. But Sister is having their comeback with I Swear next week, and I'm
What?
excited.
Yes, and I think that
Yes.
sounds a million times better than Touch My Body. I'm excited to hear it. Yes.
Their teaser where Bora has like the suspenders on, I was like, dude, Bora, thank you. Please. Don't ever leave anymore. Like, always have comebacks. That's all I ask.
We know what Tim's paying attention to, but
I love Bora.
music-wise,
What do you want?
I think it sounds very good.
Me too. Like the song's very fun, very summery, and I kind of like it. Kind of in a way, kind of looks like a continuation of "Loving You" because it takes
Yeah.
more place during the nighttime-ish from what the teaser shows.
Mhm.
So I'm very excited about it, and I can't wait for their comeback week. And also I would like to say, bless Adias for that Bora commercial.
Yes.
'Cause, oh, Lord,
Oh,
Yes.
dude.
that was a great commercial, and that was just
I'm with Kiara right now. Like, this is my new favorite person right now. We're done. Our ship is over, Noah. Like, we're done.
What? Oh, whatever.
It's
For
when you
you.
became Inner Circle that our ship was over.
Oh,
I wasn't
oh,
invited
dude.
to the Inner Circle, so.
Burn. Well, talking
Well,
about
just stay
inner
outside, please
circle.
do.
sorry.
No,
Whatever, anything
Noah,
happens.
what inner circle goodies do you have for us? Not specifically, not I should probably rephrase that. Not specifically relating to winter, but anything that you have
Oh, really?
want to discuss.
Unless you want to talk about Taehyun being an Ilsan.
Oh gosh, I saw
Oh
that,
my
but
God, no, no.
No, you
I'm
don't
not.
want to. You don't want to talk about that one. No.
I'm just gonna very keep it short. That's already been revealed during the Winner TV show, and they already talked about it. The one dude talked shit about his mother, and because in Korea it's very it looks bad if a woman is a single mother, and Taeyong beat the crap out of him and got sent to another school. And I'll leave it at that. And I'll say this: if somebody did that to me, I will beat the crap out of him too. Okay,
Yeah,
next.
I don't blame you. I'm not actually gonna judge you for Taehyun or anything. By the way, I just wanted to bring it up because I thought it was funny. that you didn't
And when
mention. But no, I would have had the same reaction that he did, especially because my mother is a single mother, so
mine
I don't
too.
blame him at all. It's just really bad to get kicked out of school in Korea, like super duper bad. So that's why people brought it up. But yeah, I totally agree, and I'm totally for what happened. Like,
And it was like
it's
what
good.
it was like at the most 90 people upvoting that article, so who cares?
Yeah, I don't
And
care about it. I was just messing with you.
I wanna I know you did were. Anyway, I want to talk about the Super Junior's upcoming comeback, and the reason I want to talk about it is because it's a cowboy theme, and the song is called Mamacita.
Ugh.
Yeah, I
And
just saw the pictures for that, and I saw Heechul, and I was like, "What the?" Yeah, I.
and yeah, and it's the song, and they're coming back at the end of this month, like probably next week. And for me, I'm just like, oh, and the song is called Ay Ay Ay. Is that something like that? Ay Ay Ay. They have something like that in the lyrics. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a hot mess, and I'm so ready for it. Bring on the popcorn. Let's have a seat, enjoy this. And one thing I don't understand about this whole song is, if you have a cowboy theme, why do you have Mamacita? That's a Mexico. That's a Spanish word.
But
It's
okay. I don't like Super Junior. For the record, I want to preface this. I'm gonna play devil's advocate though. Cowboy culture is really big in Mexico, and especially like
yes.
Texas Mexicans here in the West.
Mm.
That's a big thing. Like the cowboy culture is very very happily embraced. So I get what you're I
That
get
is
where you're
true.
coming from, but it is very very well accepted by
That being
Mexicans to embrace that
said, I
culture.
wouldn't be surprised if they found a way to mess that up somehow.
Oh, they will. Oh,
Oh,
guaranteed. Are you kidding me?
oh yes.
I'm playing devil's advocate. I don't think they're gonna pull it off. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, I didn't initially get mad when it was like, oh, cowboy theme, and our album's called Mamacita. I was like, okay, let's see. Let's see what you're gonna do. If you
No,
have a
this,
guy walk by in a poncho, I'm gonna punch you. Like straight up. Don't you do it.
Uh, I don't know if you saw the new teasers that they released. They kind of look like they're wearing like kind of matador type outfits.
Oh
Yeah, that's
my
the one
lord.
that I've seen on
yes.
Crystal, where he's got like the jacket and he's got like a headband on, and I don't know. I don't know.
I'm looking forward to all these people who love to complaining about this. I'm just like, oh, this is giving me life. This is so good.
Super Junior is just this weird creature. I don't like they have the like such dedicated and just like
Crazy.
stands, and but at the same time there are a lot of people that just like absolutely cannot stand them, and it's it's like I don't know. I feel like at one point, like the two groups are just gonna go at each other like Lord of the Rings, final battle. Both sides
But
just start collide because it's like I see just as much hate as admiration out there, and it's just like
I
I
don't
don't
agree.
even know what to think when I see them half the time. Like
Like,
I missed a good portion of their career because I wasn't around, obviously, when I wasn't in the K-pop fandom when they first started out. But it's also come to my attention that some people have told me that well, the general public doesn't really care for Super Junior, but they have the
huge.
massive fan base is just like crazy, and
But
Mhm.
and then there's the ones that are only want all 13 members together, and
Mm.
I just all of that, it's just I can't even, it gets so complicated, like I don't even want to like think about it. I'm like, Super Junior, no, because I have to like make my brain think about like all these things, members leaving, and
Mm.
elves and this, it's just
It's
it's
too
just
much.
it's
But
the Girls' Generation was the Super Junior, like Super Junior was like the prototype, and then Girls' Generation was like the it was the whole like project done correctly, and they were successful with Girls' Generation, and Super Junior was like the prototype for the super group. And I
Yeah,
mean, I
I,
guess they were successful with them in the sense that they're getting tons of money from, from fans. But
but it's an SM group. It's an SM group. Like SM just has the fart, and they have like a huge fan base. That's part of SM. I don't know how they do it. It's probably because they pimp out their artists like nobody, not like no other company. And the thing is, I think in the before the elves were way more and way more intense and evil. But now I'm seeing like a lot of elves moving over to EXO,
oh yeah,
and then there's this thing that most of the members are assholes. Like the majority of the group are assholes or has said something offensive. Like the the or bigger member that body shames women or talk about how women's place in the kitchen or whatever. And
Oh,
they
Shindong.
all of
yeah,
them have said, like not all
Shindong.
of them, yeah, most of them have said something really awful about something like about women, about race, about anything. And that's why I think I don't know if they will have a hit on their hands, but it would be interesting. It would be fun to watch.
Well, there'll be tons of screaming elf fans. That is for sure, and probably some lolzy choreography. Cause I just hear the word Mamacita, and I'm like, oh, what are they gonna do?
There's only a couple of them that can dance anyway, so.
Yeah, yeah. What else, Noah?
And the other thing I want to talk about is the Song Hye Kyo scandal or tax evasion scandal. She was caught for uh, evading taxes or hiding assets. Uh, like maybe I should talk about it a little bit more. She was pretty much. It's been revealed that she was investigated for tax evasion. And she admitted it, and she's apologized, but the public is not forgiving. And the reason that this is so big is, like you said before, Ash, is because she is the Jennifer Lawrence in that sense that she is like the girl everybody likes, and she is won like awards, like this the Model Taxpayer Citizen Award, like where the prize is that you don't get
That's
investigated.
funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious, the irony, and and the prize is that you don't get investigated for tax evasion because you've been such a good taxpayer. And now, like 3 years after that, it's found out that she actually evaded taxes. Um, and I know she apologized, but like a certain commentator said, who's Korean, uh, the actual apology that she did in Korean was not that humble. She apologized more as like it was a mistake or something that just accidentally happened, when it's pretty much known that it was an active evasion of taxes. She knowingly, or her company knowingly, avoided paying taxes, and therefore she's getting a lot of hate. What do you guys think?
I don't really have like a lot to say on this one, which is sad.
Mm.
I didn't think this was gonna get brought up really. Uh, I think it's just kind of funny that I didn't know that she got that reward for being a taxpayer, and then she does tax evasion. That's kind of ironic and funny. Um, I don't agree with anybody evading taxes. I work a full-time job and I pay my taxes, and I hate paying my taxes. I hate taxes as much as everybody else does. I want all my money, but I pay them so that the government can have nice things, even though they don't, and I'm in debt. But that's not the point. Like, everybody pays their taxes. There's no reason that you shouldn't pay your taxes, especially if you're famous. Like, it's not like you need that
Well,
money.
yeah, I mean, we seem to have that same problem in our
Yeah.
country with, rich people not paying their taxes. So that happens quite often. But yeah, I mean, I, I guess with I can kind of understand the how it could be a shock in the sense, like we were saying, her whole image, her every woman, woman next door, girl next door image, and then she's, breaking the law. As far as culturally, I don't know if Korea, if, in general, if they'll, how long it will take for them to forgive her, what, they feel like her penance should be. But I don't know, for some reason, especially with like rich people, people that are wealthy, it's like there's something about paying the taxes. It's just I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
like Tim said, I mean, it's the law. Everyone should, it's to keep the economy going. Everyone should, contribute their percent. But for whatever reason, um, for I guess Song Hiko hasn't revealed yet. She didn't. So.
Yeah. Well, that's I think all we have to say about it. The other thing I know, like maybe you guys haven't read about it, but there's also the Han Hye-jo, the actress. She's a famous actress that's been in a couple of hit shows amongst with Ling Seung-gi. She was in the like Brilliant Legacy. That was a huge hit. She's quite a successful actress, and she's been in quite few scandals. Like last year, she was in a her ex-manager tried to what's it called? Blackmail her for private photos, nude photos, I guess, and he didn't succeed. This year, she's back with another scandal where the scandal is about her younger brother, who's a soldier, so doing his duty, bullied another soldier to the point of suicide. Uh, and her family tried to compensate the family with $6,000 USD dollars. The army tried to write off his death as having suffered from psychological illnesses. And the other thing is that her family, her father, who is a big shot, they're from a rich family, tried to cover her agency and her father, who's very wealthy, tried to cover the whole incident and tried to pressure the victim's family from suing them. And now it's come out, and netizens are pissed off. And they talked about it at that TV show, War of the Words, a TV show that's about current topics, sensitive topics. They talked about everything from JYJ to Sully to everything else. Personally, I think this is a big Korean news because this is a big actress. She's one of the up and coming. She's very popular, and the fact that her family, who's another rich family, big shot, tried to cover up this incident, and that her younger brother bullied her another soldier, especially in the aftermath of Korea being shaken by a lot of the news of a lot of soldiers who have taken their lives after bullying, harassment, violence in the army. Uh, and what do you guys think? The question has always been about if her agency covered it up and her father covered it up, then she has to have known. And if so, will this damage her reputation or image? What do you guys think?
I'm gonna jump in on this real quick because I have to leave. But
Mhm.
I do want to talk about this one. And I'm not gonna get into military bullying or anything like that. It's a known problem within pretty much like every military. But I think that it's a little strange because people are instantly jumping to she must have known because her agency and her father wanted to take care of it. But if you think about it, like if you take a moment to step back, and I'm not saying that she's not involved, if you take a moment to step back, it would only make sense for her agency to try and fix things for her if they truly care about her and creating her and making her make them money. And it only makes sense for a father to try and take care of like the issues that his son or his daughter could potentially get in. Like that
Mm.
makes perfect sense to me. I know me as a person, um, because I have an issue with bullying, I wouldn't want to try to cover it up. At the same time, like I have a son, if I was in that circumstance where something could damage his career, I don't know if I can say without a shadow of a doubt I wouldn't want to try to do something about it. Um,
Mm.
and it's because I wouldn't want my son to be hurt by something that shouldn't hurt him. Like realistically, if she could have just not said, like not made any statement or just said, my prayers go out to the family, like it's not her responsibility because it wasn't her fault. And
Mm.
this situation that's occurred makes it seem like she is responsible in some way, and so people are going to blame her for something that she didn't do, and I think that's really wrong. Um,
Mm.
and it could be her fault. Like maybe she told her agency to help or her dad to help or something. That could be on her. At the same time, she didn't do the bullying. She wasn't the one who was there bullying that poor guy. And it it would just be better if we let this. I don't want to say let this thing disappear because that's not what I think you should do. But don't bring people into it that don't have any reason to be there.
Mm.
Um, that's my issue with it. Like we should address this as what it is and handle it where it needs to be handled. This is bullying in the military. This is something the military should be handling. It shouldn't be a bigger story of this actress who's had scandals before is now suddenly involved in this and she must be a part of it and she wanted to pay off this family. A lot of people will pay families for accidents that happen, and it's some people do it out of the kindness of their heart. Some people do it because they don't want you to talk about it. That is a known issue with people trying to help other people out, or people trying to help other people out with quotes. And that's kind of the issue. Like it's weird because we don't have the context. Like, what if they wanted to give this family this money as compensation and never asked them to be quiet, and the military went and tried to write it off? Like, it's hard to compare these two things because it would be really easy for somebody to say, "Oh, they wanted to pay them so that they could write it off as a mental illness." Like, that's kind of the logic that flowed. Whereas in reality, it might have been they tried to do this, but the military at the same time was trying to do this, and there was no communication between the two. So I don't know. That's just kind of my take on it. Like she shouldn't be involved in this because she didn't do it. Like she's not the guilty one for bullying. She should have never put her hand into it. If she made a statement, she should have said, I'm grieving for the family. Like she should have shown that she cares, but she had no reason to get involved. And I think it sucks that she's stuck in it now. And maybe she has a more vicious hand, like maybe she did try to pay off that family. Well, that's wrong, and people should be on her for that. But at the same time, we don't know. We don't know if that's true. People are just going to assume it is because she has a history of scandals. So I don't know. That's kind of where I stand on it. But I
All
have to
right.
run. So
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for
Yeah.
joining us, Tim. Tim is
Thanks, Tim.
going on a wonderful journey to see Sonny and Bunky in concert. I'm really jealous, but
Woo!
you have awesome time, and I don't know, get us some good dirt while you're there. I don't know.
yeah, since
Get some.
since we have like this podcast thing now, I'll probably do like a blog write up about it or talk about
Oh,
it
that
on the
would be
next show.
cool. All
Um,
right.
Maybe I'll record it. I don't know. I'm lazy, so but I'll definitely talk about it at least before the end of the next week. I will definitely talk about it. Especially because I love Sonny and I love Bumkey, so I have no problem talking about them. Um,
Awesome. Look out for that.
Cool.
but yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
All right.
Take
See
care.
you, Tim.
Bye.
Bye, Tim.
All right. Down to three. So, what I'm gonna do is, I don't know if you guys, I think Noah had this on his list, but just to round out the news today,
Hmm.
um, what's been I guess, on the forefront of a lot of people's minds. Kim Hyung Joon,
Mm.
uh, very popular um, Korean entertainer, has been accused of injuring his girlfriend. Basically, um, he has there's basically reports from his girlfriend and I think the police. Yes, he's facing a lawsuit for alleged assault and battery. So basically, his girlfriend, who he's dating for 2 years, pressed criminal charges against him for repeated instances of assault and battery between period of May and July of this year. Um, Allegedly, starting in May, his girlfriend was reportedly hit and sustained bruises to her face, chest, arm, and bottom. Injuries diagnosis requiring 2 weeks for full recovery. In July, the situation worsened, with violence escalating to a fractured rib, and she was given a diagnosis of requiring a 6-week recovery. Um, Acquaintances spoke up of hers, of who the girlfriend, and said that is said to corroborate with what she's been saying. Um, and she's she's basically put it out there. Um, and Kim Hyung Joon's agency has basically been like, we're looking into it, but Kim Hyung Joon is basically continuing with the schedule. Um, he's had or has, depending on what part of the world you're in, on the 23rd performance, Kim Hyung Joon World Tour performance in Thailand. So he's continuing with his promotions as of right now. Um, and so it'll be interesting to see how far this will go, and you know, interesting. You don't usually. It's interesting to see that the girlfriend came forward and put forward the lawsuit, because even in Western countries, it's really difficult for people to um, you know, especially in issues of domestic violence, coming forward against people in position of fame and power. But this one, definitely kind of uh, came out of, well, not out of nowhere, but people were surprised to see this. Um, you guys have any thoughts on this?
Uh, well, I mean, it's like it's very fresh. She has, like you said, she has given her testimony, and and it says that it's gonna take 6 weeks for her to recover from the fractured rib. And I'm just cooling out. Like I've read that some commentators on different sites and blogs, like they're condemning him. It's like pretty much a lynch mob at this moment. Uh,
Yeah,
but but I'm trying to be careful not to. I mean, first of all, like you said, uh, this kind of issues, like it's very hard to prove assault, especially when it comes to battery of women, violence against women. That kind of violence that goes on in the home where there's not a lot of witnesses. And the other thing is like I know the international K-pop fans are very sensitive when it comes to women's rights issue, as they should. But the thing is, like, I remember the Suzy scandal with the MC being, what's it called? The MC was pretty much hated on for accidentally, so-called accidentally touching her butt, but
oh
then it showed another video from another angle that he didn't actually touch her,
yeah,
and like and all of that anger and frustration, it was like unnecessary because that wasn't the issue. And therefore, I'm trying to be very careful, tread lightly, and I'll say if he did it, burn his ass, bye, take care.
Mm,
But then again, we know this is not the first time a celebrity has been accused by some by what's it called, an ordinary person for
mhm.
things they have not actually done, and sometimes they have done it, but I think it would be best for everybody just to.
I will say that the girlfriend also, or former girlfriend, apparently also has medical document reports as well. So, like I said, this is, like you said, this is very fresh, but um, it's not looking very good for him. Um, in these kind of situations as well, you always want to step back, but you're always kind of aware, especially because of the young fans, that there's going to be people there like, you know, Opa didn't mean it, and
Oh.
or we need real proof, and it, it's a sensitive topic for a lot of people because it is a huge issue, and for the girl, like I said, for the girl to come forward like this is very brave in any, in any culture, in any situation, because
Mm.
just because of this, if especially dating someone famous, dating someone powerful, um, she's going to have to face a lot. And like I said, if she was if she was making any of it up, I I really don't have time for people that make up stories about being abused and such, and it's just makes things more difficult for people who actually are in these type of
Mm.
situations, and are trying to you know have some try um persecute people that are have you know
These
been in
issues.
situations where they've for assault and battery. So
Mm.
Kiara, you have any
Thoughts?
thoughts
Yeah,
on?
yeah. Well, like Noah said, this is very fresh, and you know what the facts are right now is that she charged him. She just did the paperwork. She gave in all her. She gave in her proofs that she's dated him. Well, according to her, this is all according to the articles that have been written. She sent according proof that she's dated him, proof of the abuse, and the police just because that happened, and then all the news came out, and then the police did police publicly said that yes, they have received the of her suing him. They received the paperwork and everything. So it's just right now it's on that stage of the
Yeah.
whole situation. So it's like we have no real information and we don't know the whole story. And so I can't really say anything about him.
Mm.
Mhm.
So because I
And the,
I want to be careful like with the things I say about this
Yeah.
situation because it's very very sensitive and
Right. Any.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, and all I can just really hope for is for the girl. I hope she's okay, as best as okay she can be at this moment, and that she's healing from the from the pain, from the abuse, and then I just hope that I really hope for her that this isn't a lie or this is not something she made up because this is one of those top. This is different from the Susie situation. Like
Yeah.
yes.
this is just so different and you know there's no like fan cams of trying to find different angles or anything like this is something we can only rely on base what she says and what he says and the proof
Mm.
that they both show. So it's a very sensitive topic and it blew my mind because I was just on the internet last night like doing whatever and then like I just started seeing like reports coming in. I'm like about Kim Hyun Jun. I'm like, what's going on? What's all these articles coming about Kim Hyun Jun suddenly? And then all of a sudden I started the translations. I was like, oh my god. Wow. I've seen news about like Korean celebrities with this type of topic, but never with an idol before. So it kind of just like, whoa, it took me
Yeah.
back.
And the thing is I think it's gonna be a very, especially for us international non-Korean fans, it's gonna be, you have to be very careful because with the article translations and such, a lot of things can be translated incorrectly and can
Mm,
get around like wildfire, and then people are spreading rumors and things that aren't true and are true, and like I said, international fans can be kind of left out of the circle, out of the inner circle. Mm.
yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and in
Mhm.
some sense, when these things kind of crop up, and so it's best to, but people obviously want to know what's going on, and they want to consume the news as soon as possible. But in this kind of situation, it's better to wait um, until you have official, um, until you have something that's, official, and something that you can say for sure, okay, this has been translated, and this is, we know that
Yeah.
this is correct. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, sorry. Continue.
I was just gonna say that, I understand people's anger and like how people are immediately, hating on him and things like that because it so happens so often that these type of situations happen, but the males they end up just walking away from the situation, clean, like even though it was proof that they did
DJ
it, they
Doc.
still yeah, that they did it, they still walk away, without any issues, and then people's eyes go on. But then the female who was part of this whole situation, the woman, you know, that's a scar for her for the rest of her life. So
Yeah.
I understand the anger and everything, but as of now, I feel like I can't show any anger, nor can I show any, I can't, and I'm not his fan at all, so.
Mhm.
I can't. So I'm definitely won't be like, oh, Oppa didn't do it or whatever. Like that won't be me. I'm not either or. I'm just like in the neutral party, being like, I'm just gonna wait it out and see what's gonna happen, and
mhm.
then
And
and then I'll say what I have to say then.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and I want to say it to the listeners, it's not that we take violence towards anyone lightly. It's just that there's not a whole lot of information. There's only a lawsuit and paperwork that the victim has left for the to the police. And the thing is, like, how will this like translate? Like, I don't. Honestly, I don't think his career will be that affected in the long run. Because especially if it doesn't get if there's no conviction. Like I don't know if you guys know it, but like DJ Doc, like Kim Chang-ril, one of the famous rap group, he's had a history of domestic violence where I think he beat up his wife, and he's still on the most famous show. He's still on Happy Together or Running Man or whatever, and people are not talking about it anymore. I'm
I think one thing that might make this different is that Kim Hyun Jun is more of an idol, and well, he's got international fans and things like that. So
yeah,
he's got more eyes, got more attention upon him from than just the Korean public. So it'll be interesting to see, um, you know,
yeah,
throughout the whole process, if if that'll affect him at all, because he's got kind of a wider spectrum
yeah.
of fans.
Yeah, but and I want to say to the listeners that Kim Chang-il is part of Digidoc. Digidoc is a legendary hip hop group in Korea, but, and his domestic violence issues was like way back when, and I do think it's different now. But it's gonna be interesting to see like how this will actually affect Kim Hyun Jun's career, and more importantly, how this will pan out like will it bring up the topic of domestic violence in Korea? And will people actually talk about it, or will they? I'm not saying it's just Korea, but like in many other places, sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
Will it be like Chris Brown, like pretty much a lynch mob? People hate on him, like there's no chance for him to come back, or will it be like yeah, it happened, or it maybe happened, but yeah, it will be interesting. Not interesting, but it will be very interesting how will this will play out. And the only thing I have to say is just, well, we will keep you updated.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
We're yeah, we and a lot of other people are gonna be following this one. Um,
Yes.
yeah, I want. Oh, I think like with his fans, like at least with international like Western fans, a lot of them are really kind of done with him after this. They were like, even if he's even if he didn't do it, it's still like it's still this. It feels wrong now to like be a fan. Like I've seen some
yeah.
comments like that. I haven't said that, but I've seen comments like that.
Yeah, there's
So
Mm.
more of a negative reaction from like, international fans, already just being like, what, like how, there's already, just kind of a don't want to be associated with that.
Mm.
And
and
then
then
there's already kind of, like I said, with the kind of the fandom split, you've got also the comments that are being translated from Korean fans and from other fans that are like, well, we don't know if he did it yet and that sort of thing. And people are like, how can you say that? And it there's already that kind of. I mean, there are cultural differences here. I mean, um, there is, kind of a thing in Korea where women do have kind of I wouldn't say that they're they're second class citizens, but it's okay to treat or say certain things to them that in other countries, especially in say the U.S., people would be um, pretty astounded by or would not be in favor, would not find that to be a good thing. Um, and there's different attitudes there, which is why some people probably think that may he may go through a period where people he gets a lot of negative attention for this, but like you said with DJ Doc or with his group, people eventually forget. And
Mm.
hopefully, we'll get a lot of opinions on this because this is domestic violence is always an important issue, and then when you take the issue of it and place it in different cultures, and you have a whole swath of internet fans from different cultures that are going to be monitoring this. It'll be interesting to see what people say. um, Interesting thing, I'm not saying this is relevant to this, but some people have brought it up before. Chris Brown, um, which you brought up, Noah. Chris Brown
Yes.
is fairly popular, pretty popular in Korea, and I don't know. It's hard to say because I don't know how much coverage his um his scandal got, his history of domestic abuse and violence and his troubles have gotten there, but it doesn't seem to be uh, an issue there as far as is him being mentioned by idols, by singers. I mean, he's seems to be pretty popular there and pretty, you know, he's mentioned quite a bit by people like Taeyong and others. So I don't know. I'm not saying that that's directly related to this, but it might give some insight into how
Mm.
people
Yeah,
may
but
think.
well, we don't have to be that nice. Like, I don't think we have to be that nice about it. It's true. Like South Korea has, of all the OECD countries, like the worst statistics when it comes to women's rights of
Yeah.
OECD countries, like lower employer rate, lack of different rights, or like there's a lot of statistics that show like uh, amongst industrialized countries, or if I should say OECD countries, there is a women's rights issue in Korea, and therefore that's why part of the reason why I find this very interesting. How will this play out in this now very modern, like very modern Korea, where technology, like you get information in a heartbeat. Um, yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say about it.
Okay. Well, like we said earlier, we're definitely going to be keeping up on this with everyone else and, see what happens next. It's definitely going to be an important part of Korean entertainment news in the upcoming months. So, with that, is there anything else that that may need mentioning or that we should talk about,
Oh,
or any opinions, anything that you have that you want to just talk about this week?
I do.
Or if you just want to squeal about how awesome Kara is, or how awesome Winner is, or
No, no winner.
anything.
But I do think I want to talk about Bangtan's comeback as the quick
Okay.
for the Bangtan fans. I don't know what they're called, or if they even have a fandom
Army.
name.
Hmm.
They're called Army.
Army, Okay. Have you guys seen their video?
I haven't actually.
I
I didn't.
watched it. Yeah.
Well, personally, I just want to say my opinion first. I think the Bangtan, they're a relatively nice group. They seem cool, and then they have very fun BTS videos. And but the song for me is very lackluster. I find their songs very early 2090s kind of hip hop songs. And I don't know, this just didn't sit, I don't know, I just didn't feel the song. It's nothing bad. The video is cool. Like their dancing is off the hook, but
Hmm.
for me, just lackluster compared to their earlier title songs. What do you think, Yara?
Well, the thing is, I only watched the video once, and a lot of it I've already forgotten about it. Because I,
Tells you something.
because to be honest, I don't think I was really fully paying attention to the video, so it was just like I just remember that it was mostly like it was dark, the video, and like one of the members is like I don't know, he's like a boxer or something. He's like I'm just seeing him punching, and then the last scene he's cutting his hair, and I don't know. So I don't really remember what happened in the video, and then the song is kind of forgettable to me as well. So I guess this comeback just wasn't for me. I mean, I liked well, not their very last song because it was but the song before what was it? The one where they're like all in love with the well, not all in love, but they're like for this one girl. They're like always around her or whatever. I forgot the
Oh,
name of the song.
when they push her and they're violent?
Yeah, I don't like the video, but the song is. I like the song, but yeah, but I don't know. I guess I didn't really like the. I wasn't really feeling the song because I already completely forgot about it, or maybe because I was so high up on first Sistar, then Kara, and Campbell that everything else just like melted away, and I just don't care. But
It's
sorry.
all about the girl groups. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, and now I'm also paying attention to because Stellar just had their comeback too with Mass, and I'm watching their comeback performances and everything. And yeah, I'm all about girl groups right now. Like boy groups right now, unless you're 2 p.m. or GOT7, right now my mind is not on you.
Or
So sorry.
winner. Or winner. Don't forget winner.
No.
Like Like I swear to God, I sound like a weird ass, crazy stan. Like I need to calm my ass down. Tim is right.
I don't know, Noah. I don't know. Depending on who might be listening to this, you might get some free tickets to Korea.
Yes,
If those
YG.
YouTube, there's some people on YouTube that are some stands that have gotten some free trips to Korea for
Wait,
acting
in the
crazy on
season.
social media. So apparently it works in certain situations. Either
Why?
that or you get a restraining order. So
That was a good one.
so
Yeah, I think I would probably get a restraining order because YG ain't giving shit to anybody. Uh, what else was I was supposed to say? When it comes to Bangtan, well, I hope they do well this comeback. There's been a lot of talk about them competing with Winner, and like there's a competition. Uh,
Yes, the sister's coming back next week, so sorry about that. I'm just kidding.
oh yeah, the Sejigi girls. Sorry, I forgot that. Sorry, I love Sistar, but don't bring them next to Winner 21, Big Bang, or
Well,
I
they're
don't
Kara,
know.
or
It'll be
whatever.
interesting to see. They
I
might.
rather.
I'm always surprised by the support that they get despite their fandom.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Like they have a huge imaginary fan base that support them.
who are we talking about? Winner? Sorry.
Sistar.
Oh,
Oh
we're
no,
talking about
honey,
Winner.
they're winning. They're winning well. They're
Oh,
and
sister
they're
They
very
loves
have
it
loud.
they're
too.
very popular with the public, it seems like. They don't have a huge fan base, but the public likes them a lot.
Oh,
Sistar.
oh yeah, yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Totally agree. But I like Sistar, and honestly, I like their Touch My Body better. I think because I didn't like Loving You. Loving You was I hated it.
I that's my favorite song by them, I think. I
Really?
think I would love it if they kind of kept more to that sound and
Uh,
look.
the,
Yeah.
No.
I don't
I
think they
like
really would, because that's more like a summertime thing for them, but not something that they would keep doing for every comeback. So.
Well,
I,
yeah. Yeah,
I
that was
like
my favorite thing concept from them though.
my favorite Sistar song is like Alone and Gone and Not Around Any Longer when they're sweeping their ass on that table. That's my
See,
type of.
I don't like any of the 'cause that's another what's his name? The producer that's doing all the songs now.
Oh,
Brave
oh,
Brothers. That's another
Brave Brothers.
Brave Brothers thing. Yeah.
They should stick with Brave
I feel
Brothers.
like they've done that so many times. It's just I
Would
was
it
like
work?
I'm ready for something different. And then that whole song is like it's like Bora is like why is she well, we know why she's there, but I mean, the whole song is basically Hyorin and Bora gets to talk like says like two words, and then that's her.
Which is
That's her
fine. Which is
contribution.
fine.
Whoa, shade. No, sorry. I don't like. I'm not that kind of cutesy kind of person. I it's not my
I think this
thing.
sister does their brand of cutesy is good though. Like they
Yeah,
don't
I
go
agree. I
too far.
agree. It's more
It's
tolerable.
more like fun and fun and sexy and cool as opposed to cute.
It's not that aegyo kind of thing. I agree.
Yeah.
Uh, um, Other than that, I don't think I have anything. Well, I don't know if I should talk about this, but uh, have you heard about the Billboard fandom war?
Between Sones and VIPs.
No, between all kind of fandoms like One Directioners, Rihanna Navy,
Uh,
Billboard. I think it was Billboard who had a fandom war, uh,
Oh.
and and Vip's Big Bang's fandom won. It was like a fan
Oh,
army.
I think I saw something about they won something that was like it was like a voting thing, and they
Yeah,
just
it was.
massed on that, like just fell on that whole thing and like Like it just outvoted everybody.
Yeah, yeah, that happened. I'm actually that shows the thirst, Vips that we have. We are thirsty. We need some big bang kind of like
Well, I
material.
think I did read somewhere that one of them was a G-Dragon, or one of them said that there would be something from them this before the year is out. They would be releasing something.
Well,
So,
I
well,
don't
that
know.
was
There's rumors now that GD apparently might want to, go on hiatus a bit or a break. So,
yeah.
um,
Well, that's because he had a birthday party and his girlfriend. Yes, I'm saying it. Vips cry. I don't care. He has a right to his personal life. He he was at his birthday party or birthday bash, and there's rumors. I'm not saying it actually happened. That there was a lot of backlash towards her because she was still with because she was seen with G Dragon. And if you're a YG stan or a stan of YG groups, I'm not a stan of YG. Let me make that clear. You know that every time anything happens with Kiko, G Dragon gets all emo and suicidal and talks about the meaning of life and cries on Twitter or Instagram, whatever. But that's when he does the best kind of music. So I hope he cries for a little longer and then release an album, please.
all right.
ugh. Yeah, I did. There were rumors that some of his Heartbreaker album was had some relation to the whole alleged Sohi tryst.
Oh God.
Depending on who you, on who you believe. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. But
Yes.
if there's nothing else, um, thank you guys
Thank
for joining me. Thank you to our departed Tim for joining us for the majority of this podcast. Um, if you would like to write to us for any reason, comments, ideas, questions, we are on Twitter at NYA Netizens. And we are also on Tumblr at notyouraverage.netizens.tumblr.com. You can listen to our podcast, all of our podcasts on SoundCloud at SoundCloud / Not Your Average Netizens, and we're also on iTunes at Not Your Average Netizens, and you can contact us directly at notyouraveragenetizens@gmail.com. We would love to hear from those of you who listen to us, um, and your ideas, what you think, what you like, what you hate. Um, the more we hear from you, the better. And the more that we hear from you, the better our podcast can be. So yeah, send in anything, uh, any thing that you have to say. Send it in. And I think that will be it from me. Noah, Kiara, any last?
Take
Mm.
care and see you next time.
Get ready
All
for
right.
Taylor's comeback, and Kara, keep doing your thing because I love it and I'm so happy you guys are so back. Oh my god, I'm so
Uh,
happy. Okay.
Kara, you have made Kiara's life. So, yes, just know that. Yeah, but yes, thank you for joining us. And yeah, everybody, we will see you next time. Keep enjoying K pop and Korean entertainment because we will.
Hmm.
All right, bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.